Hey guys, Joe here, and today obviously is another video day, but the video is not going to be on my health. It's going to be on, well, something that's been on the channel before. A firearm, a gun, a gunski, a gunster. This is a Chiappa M922, and if you go up there, you can see the video where I talked about how it was either bad or bad luck. Well, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but mostly column A. I think it's a bad gun. And let's start with the name, Chiappa. It's not Chiappa, it's Chiappa. It's an Italian name for an Italian company that isn't actually Italian, so you pronounce it Chiappa. Now, the reason I say it's not an Italian company is the fact that Chiappa did not design this firearm. They did not take the time to patent anything on this firearm. This gun was in production before Chiappa owned the company. It's not unheard of. Other places have done it. They just bought the company, put their name on the firearm, they sell it as their own. I really wish they'd spent like $18 on development of it. So first thing that failed, well, on top of the feeding issues, was the trigger bar spring. This is a trigger bar spring. Looks like nothing, right? It's just a little piece of metal. Well, you can't recreate it because of the way it's designed. You probably could, but it's not worth it. It's a $1.56 part or something like that. However, unless you choose 2-day shipping and you pay $12, it could take up to 6 weeks to get to you because they're in Ohio. And as you know, Dayton, Ohio is 6 weeks from Virginia. It's 400 miles, just so you know. Anyways, for those of you that don't know what a trigger bar is, a little bit of education. Berettas and the Taurus version of the Beretta M9, the trigger, well, I guess I should probably close it first. The trigger is not directly connected to the hammer. Not uncommon, most weapons are not. However, this one has an external trigger bar that you can actually see in operation. And it uses a spring to reset the trigger every time you shoot it. Now, I know I'm dry firing it. I don't care because this firearm doesn't work, which we'll get into. But that broke after 18 rounds. So I got the one mag you saw in the video out, along with like 8, maybe 9 rounds afterwards, and then it broke. In fact, when I tried to have my friend who sold me the weapon, and yes, I call them weapons. You're going to have to deal with that, sorry. When he sold me this gun, I had him look at it, and while he was looking at it, pieces of the trigger bar spring fell out of the handle. I replaced it, obviously, since the trigger now works, but as you can see right through the handle there, because both of these screws stripped out as soon as I took them out. So, yeah. Additionally, it cracked the wood grip when I tried to put one back in. So that's great craftsmanship, you mother fathers. Anyways, let's get into the real problem with this firearm, starting with the mags. These are just your cheap plastic mags, nothing uncommon or different about them. They're just mags. However, the spring is too weak and the angle that it holds the bullets at, pardon me, I have phlegm, is not accurate. It's not correct. It doesn't sit in the right position. It holds the bullet at an unnatural angle. In fact, it actually doesn't hold it even at the angle like that when it's in the firearm because obviously it sits a little bit tilted, as so. But do you see the main problem so far? The feed ramp is below the level of the mag. So the bullets actually sit too high. The bullets sit with the tip pointing directly at the top of the back of the chamber. So I filed a little bit of the material out there. I also polished the feed ramp in case that was the issue because it seemed to be on 3rd and 4th rounds that it would catch on the feed ramp. So I polished the feed ramp, but it still wasn't working right. And I've done everything that the FAQ says. I've run every type of 22 through here. Remington Golden Booger, Winchester White Blocks, and I've run CCI Mini Mogs through it. Mini Mags, I'm just being stupid. Which is the recommended ammunition for a cheap-ass gun. And as an aside, I wanted to buy a High Point. My friend talked me out of a High Point. I wanted to buy a High Point because I wanted to see how a cheap-ass gun with a good reputation of running was, but he talked me out of it and talked me into this because I saw it and I'm like, oh, that looks like a Beretta. And he's like, yeah, it's a 22 Plinkster. And I'm like, I don't have a 22 to plink with, so, you know, he gave me okay price on it. I think I paid close to retail, but he's a good guy, always takes care of me. Anyway, I will never buy another Chiappa product. I will never be friends with somebody that willingly buys a Chiappa product. I don't care if Chiappa likes me. I don't care if other people that like Chiappa, and you're insane if you do, try to comment that they love their Chiappa. Great. You may have gotten the one out of every 5 million guns that actually works. But let's get back into what I did to this gun. This gun is inoperable. It's not safe to fire. I did that. I will hand to God tell you that I made this gun unsafe. But I did it on purpose. What I eventually noticed was that, and I don't have a bullet laying around because why would people just have 22s laying around? I thought there was one in the case here, but apparently not. That the rear of the slide, which you can see here, has the striker, which is the little dot in the center of the half moon, and it is inset back here in that material. However, that material is what's left after I removed probably 2 millimeters of steel around it. That's why it's not even anymore, because I also didn't take the slide off when I did it. I didn't care. I knew I was destroying the firearm when I did it. But what's funnier is where it looks thickest, shouldn't, because that's where I did the most dremeling. In fact, I broke or damaged the extractor. I actually filed the end off the extractor trying to file it down. And even after taking all that material off of it, when the bullet tries to chamber, that rear part of the slide grabs the rim of the bullet and holds the bullet up like this so it jams against the back of the chamber. So the design of the slide, or this particular slide, the way this, by the way, that's the trigger bar spring wobbling around, not me. And it's not the lanyard. So either that or it's the hammer. Great manufacturing tolerances. But yeah, that makes this a giant walnut cracker. So I contacted Chiappa just recently. I was content. I actually sold the gun to a friend, and he asked me to buy it back from him because he didn't even want to try to use it for parts for his Chiappa. And no, we're not friends anymore. But I contacted Chiappa and said, hey, can I send this to you? Will you destroy it for me? And they're like, why do you want us to destroy it? And I said, because it doesn't work, and I messed it up on purpose trying to get it to work, and it doesn't work. And they're like, well, we don't actually destroy it, but if you want to send it to us, we can take a look at it. And I said, sure. You're not going to warranty it, but sure, you can have it back. So they gave me the information, and I'm going to send them back. And the lady on the phone was decent, nice, not rude in any way. And I didn't tell her that I was making a video about it or anything like that, because I'm sure they've heard it from a couple other YouTube content creators. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. But yeah, so I'm going to send it back to her. And she said she would call me, which means she handles all the warranty and customer service apparently for the entire company. And I guess the next thing we have to do is see what they tell me. Now, here's my prediction. It'll probably take a few weeks before they call me, but here's my prediction. They're going to take the slide off. They're going to tell me that the slide is damaged. Duh. They're going to tell me the extractor is damaged. Duh. They're probably going to tell me the chamber is damaged where the breech comes into contact with it. Duh. And that they can't fix it under warranty. At which point I will say, well, I didn't ask you to fix it under warranty. I just asked you to destroy the firearm. At which point they'll probably tell me we don't do that here. And at that point I will say, that's fine, you can keep it, and I'm going to hang up the phone. They can send it back to an FFL in Virginia if they want to. They can use it as a doorstop. They can put it on their wall of shame. I don't care. The point of the video was I want to warn you guys not to buy a Chiappa firearm. Buy a High Point. Do you ever think you'd hear that? Somebody saying buy a High Point instead of a Chiappa? Well, I am. Here's the other thing. They sell $1,000 guns. They don't just sell plinking guns. They sell a... I can't remember what they call it, the Rhino. And they can chamber in .357 mag. And I've seen videos from guys that have gotten them, and out of the box they have cracked cylinder cranes without a round ever going through them, and they won't warranty them. So again, my expectations for this company are about as low as the number of rounds that have gone through it. So take this as a warning, take it as a humorous thing, take it as a haha I got screwed thing, whatever your case may be. Let me know your Chiappa stories down below, and if it's a good one, I'll share it. Don't forget to subscribe. You can click over here to watch other videos. I'll put up a couple other shooting videos because I've also reviewed good guns. I reviewed a Canik TP9 SA, and I still haven't gotten around to doing it, but I will do a review of my Rock Island TCM 9mm22 1911. That's a long title, but yeah. As always, I'll talk to you later.